my friends, I'm Maggie, the artist behind Magic Fine Art. This is my first YouTube video, so please don't be too judgy, okay? I'll use this opportunity to tell you a little about myself. I'm a full-time artist for the past 4 years, but I've been drawing since I can remember really. In my art, I use all sorts of materials: acrylic paints, oils, watercolors, ink, gouache, soft pastels, intense pencils, colored pencils, airbrush, graphite, charcoal, and I'm constantly looking for new materials to try. I also do sculpture, card making, quilling, crafting, and any DIY stuff I can think of. So you can expect pretty much everything art related in my channel, and I'll be happy if you join me in my artistic quest. For today, I've prepared a speed up video with the process of me creating the portrait of a beautiful little baby. The reference photo I'm using is from pixabay.com, and you can check it out if you click the link below the video. First, I will talk about the supplies I'm using for this project. The surface I'm drawing on is an 8 by 10 inches pre-primed cardboard. The primer is a 1-to-1 mixture of Liquitex clear gesso and white acrylic gesso by Pebeo. It's a quite gritty surface, as I wanted to create a vintage feeling for this piece. The main pencil set I'm using for this project is the Derwent Studio 72 color set. I bought this set about 7 or 8 years ago as an addition to my Derwent Color Soft set, but up until now I have used it only for details, as the pencils are quite hard. I also used some other pencils from my color pencil collection, mainly Faber-Castell Eco and Inscribe. By doing this portrait, I wanted to test the Derwent Studio colored pencil set, and at the end of the video, I'll share some thoughts about my experience with the set and how it performed. As you can see, I already have the outlines ready. I used a sheet of paper which has graphite on one side to transfer the image, as I couldn't find any transferring paper in my local art supply shop. Now you know where my graphite dust goes when I sharpen my pencils. I carefully studied my object and did an accurate sketch of my reference image prior to transferring it, and in a future video I will show you that process too. Once I have clear outlines, I start my work with the colored pencils. Normally I start with the area around the forehead and the eyes. As in this drawing, the eyes are the main focus. I made sure to catch them right. At least for me, they are the most important part of a portrait, and if I manage to draw them close to perfectly, I know that the portrait will be a success. I plan to make a tutorial about how to draw different parts of the human face, so I won't get into details about this in this video, but I'll give you some tips. When you draw an eye, keep in mind it's a sphere, not a flat surface, so we have to make it look oval. Also, the white of the eye or the sclera is never pure white. Use light gray, light blue or purple and look carefully at your reference image. The only thing that is pure white is the shine in the eye, so you should reserve your brightest white for that. Something else you have to keep in mind is that the eyelids have thickness. They are not thin like a sheet of paper. After the eyes, little by little, I start building the skin tones and forming the nose and the mouth. When I do the shading, my main goal is to put the right values at the right places, so I can create an illusion of a volume, of a three-dimensional form. Choosing the right values is one of the most important things in the realistic drawing. I have an idea to make a whole course about how to draw different simple objects with graphite and how to combine them to create more complex shapes. That can be really useful, and I know that's where I started as a beginner before moving to drawing portraits. Is that something that would interest you? Please leave a comment below the video. For the hair of the baby, I used OMS or odorless mineral spirits to blend the pencils. I didn't do much details on the clothes as I wanted the attention to be on the face. At the end, I finished by putting the final highlights. I had to use my Caran d'Ache Luminance white pencil as the Derwent Studio one was not opaque enough. Now I will leave you to watch the rest of the video with some music, and I will be back towards the end with some thoughts about the Derwent Studio pencils. Enjoy! As you can see, the Derwent Studio pencils are performing quite well here. I'm not too impressed by the white though. I'll tell you a bit more about these pencils. They are made in the UK and they are wax-based. The Studio pencils are quite hard and they are great for detailed work. The color range is nice. There are some beautiful colors like the blues, the greens, some skin tones. But there is a downside, a big downside, at least for me. Only 16 out of 72 colors are light fast. For those of you who are wondering what light fast means, that is the level of resistance of the color to fading when exposed to light. As I'm selling my art, for me that is very important. But for someone who just want to draw but not sell, I guess it's not such a big deal. Some of the colors I really like are the burnt umber, burnt carmine, the black, definitely the black, great for details. You can check the Derwent website, derwentart.com, for the color chart of the Studio pencils. There is information about each color. I'll put the link below the video. The pencils don't break easily when sharpened, and I managed to achieve a very sharp point with no effort at all. They can be blended with odorless mineral spirits or colorless blender, and they work well with both. Derwent make another line similar to the Studio pencils, the Artist line. The Artist and the Studio pencils are very similar, but with different shape, and the Artist range is also 120 colors instead of 72. The Artist pencils are with a round barrel and the Studio ones have hexagonal shape. That's the main difference between the two lines. That's a question that many people are confused about, so I thought I should mention it. In conclusion, my overall experience with the Derwent Studio pencils is better than I expected. They performed very well except for the white, and I'm quite happy with the result. For me they are not the best fit, as I prefer softer pencils like Color Soft or Prismacolor Premier, but they're amazing for detailed work. And luckily for me, my favorite colors turn to be light fast, and I'll keep using them in the future. If you like to work with lots of details and you're not after bright, fast coverage of the paper, you are not a fan of the wax bloom, and you don't mind if the colors might change a bit in time, Derwent Studio pencils might be a nice set for you. That's all I can say at the moment for these pencils. Now I will finish with one last tip for this video. It doesn't matter if you draw from life or you use a reference photo. You should study your object. The key to realistic drawing is the knowledge and the understanding of what you draw. Study the shapes, the lights and the darks. Do some sketches. That would definitely help you to avoid some mistakes during your drawing process. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave some comments about things you are interested in regarding drawing, as I'm always looking for some fresh ideas for future videos. See you soon and thank you for watching.